Okay, what I'm going to do here is demonstrate how to automate tasks in a graphical environment, and that environment in this case is Xorg using Window Maker, the window manager, so that explains the dock apps running over here. And the underlying operating system, for anyone curious, is I'm going a little old school here. It's Slackware 64-bit Linux. And what I'm going to do is use this script that I wrote in conjunction with several programs, but the main one I'm using is Xdotool, which basically amounts to a fake mouse and keyboard, which allows you to automate some tedious and somewhat repetitive tasks on screen in a graphical environment, which is easier to do in a command line environment, but not so easy to do in graphical. Graphical environments are the norm anymore, but this allows me to do things automatically. So I'm going to show you why I do this. I'm going to operate on podcast files, and the podcast downloader for what it's worth is gpotter, which there's even a Windows port of that, but that's just for anyone curious. And here's what the files would save as by default. They have the title of the individual hour, because it's a 4-hour radio show, and then they have a space, and then you have a T, which stands for Tuesday, the day of the week, then the month, and an underscore, then the date, and then another underscore, then the year, in that format, and then the hour of the show, so that's the second hour, and then I'll even have the guests listed here. But there's a weakness with that. Number one, the file names are ridiculously long, and number two, they don't play in order, because ideally what you'd have would be the name of the show, then you'd have the date, then you'd have the hour, 1 through 4, or in my case, the way I'm going to have them named as A through B. And I would want to have them named in this file naming convention here. So I'll select out of the title and then the day of the week, and for John Batchelor Show, JBS, and then an underscore. Oops, an underscore, not a plus sign. Then the day of the month rather, in 2-digit format, and then take out that underscore, then the date, and then take out that underscore, then the year, and everything for the month, date, and year all in 2 digits each. That way they, even when I play from September to October, September will have a leading 0 for 9, so it'll be 09. And also the date will be that format too, so even though it's the first day of the month, it'll still be 01, so that they play in order. And then for the remainder, I don't need all these names here like that, with A for the first hour, or in this case it's the second hour, but I'll go ahead and do the A just so you can see that would be the way it is, and then a space and then a dash. And then later on I'll process it to have, right after this dash, I'm going to divide these into 4 files further, and there'll be a 1 for the first division. But for now I'm going to save them with that file naming division for the first hour, and then the second hour will be B, third will be C, fourth will be D. So so I'm using the Xdotool to do this in conjunction with some other programs. I'll give you a quick demonstration of how that works right now with the script I have. And at this point I'm not typing anything, it's fully automatic. And then once it gets done with this saving these 4 files, it will delete them, and then it will copy these files right here. I'll show you over this on this window. Try that again. That way you can see them. So these are the 4 raw, uncut podcast files that it saved from my downloader right here. And then these down here, for anyone who wants to know, are identifying audio files. And all they are just voice recordings of the letters A through D. Each one has one of the letters. Then we'll append that audio at the beginning of each of these files here in Audacity later on in another script. Again, using Xdotool. But that way I know which hour is playing. So at the beginning of this hour here, I'll hear the letter A, and then it will go straight into the podcast itself, and then B and C and D and so forth. So that's how this works, and so that's a demonstration of how to automate things with that one, and that's the end of it.